Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining Motorola Solutions APAC Channel Community Learning Hour. My name is Rachel, your host for the series. So it's been a while since our last episode in November last year, and we are so glad to be back. We're really happy to have everyone join us again in this learning journey. So for those who are new, the APAC Channel Community Learning Hour is a 1 hour monthly webinar session where we explore different topics. So be it technical, products, operational, marketing with different guest speakers. So as always, we hope to bring you content that is relevant and beneficial to our channel partners. So if you have any special or rather specific topics in mind, do reach out to me. You can find me on our Motorola Solutions Community APAC LinkedIn group. And if you haven't joined the group, please do join. That's where you'll find the latest news and updates that's happening in the region, so don't miss out. So some housekeeping before we start. All attendees are on listen-only mode. If you have any questions, enter them in the Q&A box found on the bottom of your Zoom window. We will take the questions at the end of the presentation. And this session is recorded and will be made available to you on Partner Central in a week or two's time. So without further ado, I shall pass the floor to Kitsun Chung, our APAC pre-sales lead, who will share more about our latest MOTOTRBO device, MOTOTRBO R5. So over to you, Kitsun.
Thanks, Rachel. It's a pleasure again to be talking to all our partners across the region. And I believe this time around we had like 200 over people registered. Yeah. So awesome. It's kind of great to have all the people across the different time zone. So I believe some of you are very early in the morning, some of you in the noon, and some of you is just about to get off your work today. Yeah. So again, very nice to see all you guys out there. My name is Kitsun, based in Singapore, and I think I know quite a number of you guys out there. It's always nice to be interacting in, if it's not face to face, at least online as such a webinar. Yeah. Now today's topic, we're gonna look at the MOTOTRBO R5, and if you have been kind of listening and kind of getting the updates from Motorola, this is one of the latest MOTOTRBO portable radios that we are introducing to the market. So again, we would play the video before we kind of get on to the next section. So here comes the video. Okay, let's get back to the presentation materials. Okay, so some of us may be kind of a long-term partners with us for more than 20, 30 years, some of us, yeah. And if we were just to flash back a couple of years back, yeah, we introduced the P66 series back in around 2010, 2011 timeframe. Yeah, I remember very well because at that point of time, I was one of the product managers that brought these models to the market. Yeah, this was back in 2011. Wow, 15 years. Just fly by here. And at that point of time, we kind of introduced a second generation of MOTOTRBO. And then back in 2016, 2017, we introduced the refresh version, the E version for the Australian, the I version for the rest of APAC. And that was kind of revamped in terms of the circuitry, the design, the RF performance to make it better. Fast forward today, 2025, This is the 4th generation of MOTOTRBO that we are introducing. Just 2 years, 3 years ago, we introduced the R7, the flagship. And then now it comes the time where we introduce the mid-tier, the R5. So in other words, this is kind of be the replacement moving forward for the 66 series. So again, what are we looking at in terms of this brand new model? Yeah. So very quickly, we kind of divide them into 3 key messaging again, 3 areas. Number 1, as usual, Motorola, one of the key, when we talk about radios, applications, is always the voice communication. With that, it comes with the improvement in terms of the audio performance, the loudness, clarity, and the consistent. Yeah. So we will talk through all these things in a while in greater details. Secondly, if we were to look at all the users we have today, they are looking at productivity, how they can make use of a radio for long hours to make sure that it doesn't go off the grid, make sure that everything is working well. So again, we want to focus on the day-to-day operations. How does this radio, how does this R5 continue to kind of make our users' life better? And of course, like I mentioned earlier, one of the models that we launch is usually about 5 to 10 years in the market. So we want to make sure that in all these radios, in all these devices, it has the durability, the reliability built in so that users can continue to use them for a long period of time. Yeah. Now, of course, if you guys, all of us, I would say a lot of us are familiar with the Motorola DNA, and a lot of the times, these are all the things that is inherited. We make sure that anything that has a Motorola branding comes with this kind of characteristics. We'll look into that a little bit more in a while. So let's talk about the audio performance. So over the years, we have come across the different generations where we try to improve the loudness and then, of course, the background noise. Now, one may argue every time when we go to the field, we are talking about heavy industry. We always hear lots of background noise at the back, be it oil and gas, be it manufacturing, be it construction. Always, there's a lot of noise. And when we were to ask our users, they will always feedback that, hey, it is not loud enough. Okay, so with this new model, we have kind of going forward with all our R series, the loudness, the audio power is now increased to 1 watt. In the past, it's always maintained at 0.5 watts audio. Now we are doubling that up, 1 watt. And in fact, if we were to crank it up all the way, and there is a loud profile that we can push to kind of boost the loudness even more, it's almost towards 3 watts of audio. And that's equivalent to 106 phone. Yeah. So in the past, the 66 series is about 98 phone. So you can kind of see from a measurement standpoint, it's a significant increase. If we look at, again, as I mentioned, background noise. When the background noise is too loud, sometimes it drowns out the audio. And if you have too much of a background noise, then your voice is not going to be sent through the transmission clearly. So with that, we have kind of improved on the noise suppression where we included what we call as AI trained noise suppression. Now, the AI here is because we are using some kind of software in the AI environment to pick up what is voice and what is noise. All right, with that, you'll be able to distinguish between the human voice and the noise. And then that will help in terms of the software to differentiate out and kind of transmit only the voice, remove the background noise. So with that, we have various settings depending on how aggressive we want the noise suppression to be. So there's like level 1 and then there's a level 2. And of course, it works on selected accessory as well. If we have the RSMs, the surveillance, some of the new ones will work with this noise suppression feature as well. Now, let me kind of play back some of the recordings. This is our actual testing that was done to kind of that you feel what is it like with and without the AI noise suppression, AI trained noise suppression. So the first one is without the feature.
We have 3 trucks awaiting to be offloaded. 3 pallets are in receiving. Headed to production soon.
Okay, you can hardly hear what it's trying to say. Let me play that again.
We have 3 trucks awaiting to be offloaded. 3 pallets are in receiving. Headed to production soon.
I could only hear the word truck. I heard the word production, but in between is all, yeah, I can't really hear. So now let's hear the audio with the AI trained suppression turned on.
We have 3 trucks awaiting to be offloaded. 3 pallets are in receiving. We headed to production soon.
Okay, we have 3 trucks waiting at the production, yeah? So you can clear that clearly, more intelligently. Let me play that again.
We have 3 trucks awaiting to be offloaded. 3 pallets are in receiving. We headed to production soon.
Okay, all right. So you can hear from this simple example. Yeah, these are real demo clips that we actually got from the feature. Yeah, and we can clearly hear there's a lot of big significance in terms of the clarity. Now, going through, I mean, these are other features that we embedded, we inherit across the many years of development, across the many years of new, or we say features that we introduce for audio. Intelligent audio. Again, this was there since the day one of MOTOTRBO, where the speaker will adjust the volume according to the environment's noise, right? Sometimes we know from a user's experience, when we move into a noisy environment, we just forgot to crank up the volume and then we missed out a lot of conversation. So with this intelligent audio, it kind of calibrates the environment noise. It will kind of increase the volume of a radio automatically so that the users at least can hear the voice coming from a radio. The next one is audio, receive audio leveling. There are cases where when you have different mix of brands of radios in the field, everybody's kind of using in a point-to-point or in a very simple deployment, you will tend to hear that some radio will be louder, some radios will be softer. So when we turn on this feature, it tends to kind of normalize the audio volume. Yeah, so in terms of the loudness, it will be more, I would say, kind of more even out. Yeah. Now, the next one is the noise suppression, which we talk about. Now we have increased it even better to make it the AI train. And then, of course, we have a whole suite of audio accessories. We'll talk about that in a while, a little bit, where we have the Impress audio, which makes the audio matching and everything to be even better. Yeah. Let's move on to the second bullet point. In terms of the day-to-day tasks, how do we help our users to focus on their work, on their tasks? Of course, some of the ergonomics, some of the things that we can help to improve the models. If we look at the R5, this is, I would say, one of the models that is probably used a lot more in different vertical markets, a lot more diverse market, because simply it packs the performance, the quality at a more affordable price in a way. Yeah. So with that, we have improved the display. It's still going to be a smaller display compared to R7, but in terms of the dot metrics, in terms of the what they call it, the display, we have now improved it to be 2 or 3 lines configuration as compared to the old 66 series or the DP2000 series. And if you look at the display, yeah, it has better, slightly bigger, yeah, slightly bigger, has a very good contrast to the display. One more thing we added, orange button on top, yeah, the emergency button. Now, don't underestimate this, right? Because we do hear a lot of end users who requests and needed this kind of function. Now, in the old 66 series, emergency is supported, but we need to use one of the programmable buttons to trigger the emergency, which means there is no button at the top beside the antenna. So with this new R5, we have now bring in this, I would say, a more professional kind of usage into this R5. Yeah. And if we look at the PDD button again, that is one of the key function. Yeah. PDD button is redesigned to make it more tactile, more reliable, and in fact, it's also designed with people who are wearing glove in mind. Because when we wear glove, the feel is different. The surface area is different. Your thumb will be larger in size, yeah, with a glove on, right? So all this has been catered upon the design to make sure that it's very usable, easy to press. Next thing, we talk about the battery life, and again, we are hitting the next milestone, the next level. We used to be in the 20 hours range, 20 plus. Now we are seeing a new number over here. With the high capacity, 3,200 milliamp, we are able to hit up to 32 hours on the VHF, 30 hours on the UHF. So we are starting to see the number 3 there. Something new, yeah? In the past, it's all 20, 22, yeah? Now is 3. So that's the new thing. And of course, we continue with our TIA in the Haslock solution to make sure that we continue to serve the Haslock market at this price range with this kind of mid-tier model. Next, we talk about some of the RFID integration. In the past, we have not, but we don't see that as a good option, a good solution. Now we have integrated NFC RFID tag that can be put at the side of the radio. Now, in terms of ergonomics, I think it makes a lot more sense to kind of put it aside so that we can scan it onto a reader easier. Yeah. So again, we may ask, what are some of the applications for this? Number one, if we have the body-worn camera, yeah, the VB400, all that, we know that it uses RFID to deploy the camera. We can actually incorporate this NFC tag to use it to deploy for cameras. So that's one of the integration, one of the ways that we can make use of this. And of course, if we have customers who want to do asset tracking, this can be a way of putting a tag on the device so that the asset can be tracked across the facility. So think about that, yeah, when it comes to this kind of application. The rest, we pretty much maintain the durability, IP67, the MIL standard, ALT, part of our DNA for Motorola, and then the accessory connector. Now, just to highlight a little bit on the MIL standard. A lot of vendors out there, they will say that, oh, yeah, we have MIL standard, right? D, C, D, E, F, G, and H to the latest iteration. But let's dive in a little bit more. The difference between Motorola and a lot of the other vendors is the amount of the different tests that we do. So here we have 11 different categories. What do I mean by 11 different categories? It will mean that we have 11 different test parameters. So for example, temperature, rain, dust, solar, all kinds, yeah? So there's 11 of them in total. If we were to compare this with other vendors, they probably do about 7, 9, yeah, it's not 11. So these are the things that we have to kind of educate our customer to see that, hey, in terms of durability wise, we have a lot more grounds covered in that sense. So of course, if we look at the long term, yeah, this is just the first year of introduction of R5. We have taken the step to improve in terms of the software, the chipsets and everything to make it even more resilient, right? To make it more secure software. Over the years, we have seen cases where software will be hacked to turn on certain features. Yeah, it happens. So with this new generation, we are improving on that security from that sense to further making sure that people don't hack the radios and make changes to the software and then damaging the radio, yeah. And of course, Just now I kind of spoke about this a little bit, about the Hazelog. We maintain the same classification, the same gas group, the rating that we used to have on the 66 series. And now we are bringing the same ratings to the R5. So for people, for all our customers who are buying and using the 66 series, the DP2000 on the Hazelog, this will be the equivalent moving forward. Now, specification, I'm not going to bore you with all these numbers. We can find all this on the brochure. But the next slide, this is something that we want to bring up. If we compare the R5 with the P66 series. So here we can kind of shout out some of the differences. Maybe we can also see some of the about the equivalent, yeah, in the sense. Now, dimension-wise, it's interesting to see the numbers because we are keeping to the same footprint, almost, yeah. In fact, we are slightly thinner. The radio has gone through a good diet program, has gone through a good diet program to make it shrink a little bit. So 1 mm off the scale, yeah, in terms of the thickness. So otherwise, the feel should be very identical with the 66 series. The display, as I mentioned, grew a little bit, yeah, from a 1.4 to 1.5, slightly bigger. The keypads, we kind of enlarged the button so that it ease the use of the button pressing. New program emergency button at the top, something that we don't have in the past. You have to use the side programmable buttons. The noise cancellation now with the new one, which is the AI trained noise cancellation, noise suppression. The key one is the voice, the audio loudness. 97 phones, now all the way to 106 if we crank it up all the way. Yeah. And that kind of reflects as well in terms of the audio power. We are now at 1 watt minimum. I think it goes up to 3 watts. And the distortion level is maintained at 3%. Battery life, we have hit the 30 plus kind of level. Never before we hit 30 hours and above. RFID, we have that optional. And of course, the chipset to make sure that it's more secure moving forward. Coming to some of these systems, we are all very familiar. The single site systems, the IP site connect, the capacity plus single site, multi-site. It remains the same. Whatever that is being supported in the 66 series, we kind of brought it over. So this is, fear not, yeah. I mean, if you have 66 series running on all these systems, the R5 is all compatible, meaning that you can just add on, you can kind of phase in, and then as you replace the 66 series, R5 fits in perfectly, right? Without any gaps in that sense, yeah. And if we look at some of the bigger scope of integration, today we have lots of the ecosystems. Number one, be the radio alert on the orchestrate, yeah, on the ecosystems, yeah. It all fits in as well. So with a display, you're able to get the message out on the device. It allows that kind of messaging. Now, the body-worn camera. So that is another field where we can do integration. And with the RFID tag, we can then save on the RFID separate card, use the radio to deploy the camera. So that's another way of integration. It allows us as partners to cook out a solution that is all rounded, all inclusive, so that the end users would be able to kind of get the whole total solution from one stop. Yeah, so that's the whole idea. And here comes, yeah, I mentioned, yeah, radio alert, the orchestrate and the wave push to talk. Of course, we can connect the LMR to wave through the gateway. Then you can have the voice over the two different systems. It works everything on the R5 as well. And then the last one, which is the body-worn camera, which is VB400's deployment with the RFID. Accessories wise, if we were to look at the accessory connector, it is actually the same as the 66 series, the DP2000 series. It's the same connector. meaning some of the accessories can be reused in a sense. Yeah. Now, battery-wise, it's a new battery, but the charger can be reused. It's the same slot you will fit into the existing charger. Carry case is slightly different. Yeah, so we gotta get new carry cases. Accessory, the audio accessory, we have new RSMs because what happened is on the radio, remember, the power, the rated audio power now is higher. So if we were to use the old RSM, we will realize that the radio is actually louder than the RSM. So something that we want to avoid, yeah? So we want to make sure that we get the new RSM, which has a higher audio output. So here are some of the part numbers. Yeah, you can just take a quick note. Don't have to memorize them per se because we do have accessory brochures with all the R5 information updated. Yeah, if you need help, reach out to your in-country sales. We do have the price page for the different countries, and price page would have all the part numbers listed over there. Yeah. So all in all, if we are very familiar with the MOTOTRBO portfolio, pretty much everything is kind of comes with the whole platform, the R5 platform. A little bit on the after sales support, yeah, the services. Now we have kind of bump up a little bit. Jumpstart used to be like 3 years. Now we have 5 years, a 5-year support, which includes the software upgrades and technical remote support. So that is where we talk about the essential service, the standard one. Now, we do have the option for 5 years hardware repair as well. Of course, that will be added cost in terms of the hardware repair. So it's really optional whether you need that or not. Yeah. And of course, there's another one, which is a 5 years hardware, I would say warranty in a way. Yeah. It includes wear and tear, accidental damage. So that will be all the way. So if you want to get the full all-in-all package, go for the ones are the most right with the accidental damage option. Yeah. So we do have all these choices available. And in summary, yeah, we have come to almost the end before we open up for Q&A. So again, a quick look, a 3-dimensional picture diagram of the radio. It feels very much like the 6.6 in terms of dimension, but hold it in your hand. You will be able to tell the difference because the angles are all more rounded. It has a better feel when you grip it. I personally have held on the 6.6 series for a long time. Yeah, I've hold it a lot of times. When I first hold on to the R5, I could feel the difference. Yeah, it's better. It's rounder, easier to hold, better on the palm. So with all the difference improvements here and there, orange button with the emergency, the bigger display, bigger buttons, better audio, I'm sure this will bring us to the next level for those P66 users. So just to reiterate again, just to kind of remind us again, what are the 3 key things? Number 1, audio, loudness, and the background noise with a better noise suppression. Number 2, with better ergonomics, better the talk time, battery life, it helps to improve the day-to-day tasks with the radio. And of course, the last one, this is very much as it is, yeah, is a DNA within the Motorola portfolio, the durability, reliability, and safety, where we have all the HAZLOG approvals for those kind of applications. I have come to the end of the presentation. Yeah, so sweet, yeah, short and sweet. We will open up now for Q&A. So maybe Rachel, you can help to see if there's any questions in the box.
Absolutely. So yeah, really short and sweet. Partners, any questions, please enter in the Q&A box, and then we will get Kitsune to answer every single of them. Okay, so we have a question about the test standards and procedures that were mentioned in your presentation. Is this actually available in the data sheet and some other documents where partners can actually show to their customers?
Good question. Yep, we do test based on the international standards to make sure that we comply to the various requirements. Yeah. Now, when we talk about test requirements, it could be from different angles. Number 1, if we talk about the TIA, That's one area of it as well. When we talk about male standard, that's another whole area. When we talk about the RF testing, that's another area. Yeah, the ETSI standards and all that. Now, we do have some of the certs available. We usually share them upon request. So if you do have a need to submit some of these certification for tender purposes or whatever, reach out to us. Yeah. Now, on the brochure, typically we keep it quite simple. We don't put in a lot of details, simply because I think we just don't want to confuse people. Too much information. Number two is I think it's just easier to understand. Now, if you have any requests in any of this area to get more detailed certification, please reach out to us. Reach out to our in-country sales, and then we will work with them as usual. Yeah. So a lot of times, based on my experience, we have partners requesting. Usually, we'll get back to them quite quickly. Yeah, if we have it on hand. And on my PC, usually I store them in my PC as well. So because I know a lot of people ask the same thing, right? So it's easier when I have it. I'll just just one email away.
Right, right. So I was just looking at our data sheet and all that. So I think it's just very high level, mentions about the certification, like HAZLOG, I think.
That's
And
right.
then, you know, some environmental specifications. So very high level stuff. So if you need the more detailed information, to reach out to your CAMs and also Kitsu. All right, next question. The 3200 mAh battery, is it standard or is it optional?
Okay, so the high cap batteries, typically we put that as a option, yeah, because the standard one is a 2000 milliamp and the thinner ones. So really, go through the equipment list when you go to your partner hub that you wanna order your radios. You should be able to see the options there. You should be able to see what is the standard battery that's coming with it as well. So refer to those. The reason why I say this is because, yeah, we may have special arrangement for certain countries. Yeah, maybe that countries prefer high cap. Then we may put that as a standard for them, right? Depends. So depending on the region, the countries, my best advice is always go to your account, the partner hub, look at the ordering, look at what the R5, the ordering structure. You should be able to see the battery options over there.
Okay, so another question on batteries. Is this Impress batteries?
Yes, we do have Impress battery. Yeah. So again, after this session, I would encourage you guys to get hold of the accessory brochure, because accessory, as we know, there are 1001 different part numbers, and we don't expect everybody to remember those part numbers in your head. Yeah. I know some people, they can memorize very good. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. So I always refer to the brochure. Yeah, always get the brochure. Go to that, because the brochure, I like it because there are pictures available as well. So on the brochure, you can see the picture, you can see the part number, you can see the description, you can even see some of the specs, capacity, right? Is it IS rated in terms of accessory, the audio accessory or not? So get hold of that, right? And then you will be able to pick and choose wisely from there.
All right. So the next question is about this button that is on the device on R5, the orange button. It sends a signal. Does it need to be programmed like GP328?
Okay.
Like when you
Idea.
press it, is it just a sound or, you know?
Okay, I like the way the question is put, GP328. It tells me that this person has been a long time Motorola users. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's one of the best selling models that we have, right? GP328. It never dies. Just for information, it's been around since the 90s, late 90s, I would say. Yeah. So it's been what, 30 years? Coming to 30 years. Now, you are right. The button as it is, if we take it out of the box, it will do nothing. Yeah. So it requires programming, because technically, that orange button can be configured to do something else as well. You can actually program it to be something else if you want it. Yeah. But by default, of course, people would kind of interpret that as the emergency button. Now, of course, number one, you got to set up the function, make sure that that button kind of points to the emergency feature. Number two, within the code plug, within the radio setting, we need to make sure that we have the, what they call it, the emergency profile setup. because without a profile, the button will not be able to do anything. Because within the emergency function, there are different flavors as well, as we know it. Yeah, it could be a simple alarm that goes out to all the other radios. It could be alarm followed by hot mic. It could be alarm silent. So there's a lot of workflow, different types of workflow for different types of environment. Because sometimes when you press an alarm, you don't want it to sound, right? In some cases, you want it to sound. You want to have a search tone emergency sound. So it's all very customizable in that sense. So to answer that question in a whole long and coming back, you need to configure before you can use it.
Right. Okay. Highly customizable, somewhat.
Yep.
Okay. So next question. License key, are they included?
Okay, good question. This was one of my earlier question as well, to make sure that I have all this correctly answered. Depending on the region, depending on the country, we have different configuration. Now, in the whole of general in APAC, it is kind of similar to the 66 series. So if you purchase the 66 series, it has IP site connect included. It has Cat Plus single site included. So this will be the same for R5. So if you're using for single site Cat Plus, yes, it's already included. If you're using for IP site connect, yes, it does, right? So of course there are other audio features and all that included. So again, I'm not a very good memorizing in terms of what do you call it, spec sheets and all that. My suggestion is always refer to the price page, because the price page would have the table to list out very specifically the features, what are the things that are included, because it does vary from region to region a little bit. Yeah, because some region they say, oh, I want the premium package, I want everything in. Of course, the price will slightly go up. Then they get most of these things. But for the rest of the whole of Asia, my general advice is, as a rule of thumb, follow the 66 series. Yeah.
Okay. So next question. Is the R5 antenna compatible with the 66 series or others?
Okay, good question. If I'm not wrong, I think it's the same. Yeah, based on the samples that was playing with and all that, it's the same. But again, the right answer is check on the accessory brochure, check to the part numbers level. Like I said, I can't remember all the part numbers, but do yourself a favor, yeah? Look through the part numbers, because the part numbers is the best way to make sure of certain thing, yeah? Like I say, accessory wise, there are 1001 different part numbers. Always get the right part numbers. So I'm sure you are familiar with the 66 series. Just look at the R5 brochure price page. We have all those part numbers listed. If I'm not wrong, if I remember correctly, there are some that are the same. Yeah.
Okay. And I think this question is about the testing about RF power and sensitivity. So if someone wants to check the sensitivity, where do they test it?
Okay. Now, this will vary case by case. Yeah, we know that some tenders requires them to showcase some of this. Now, to be fair, to be honest, I'm not an expert in terms of the engineering side of things. Yeah. So when it comes to test procedure, usually I will engage our R&D folks in Penang. So we have done this countless time. We have done this to support a lot of our partners when it comes to tender, to showcase the RF performance. We actually get our engineers to support. Sometimes we even set up equipments. Customers sometimes fly into Penang to do this. So there are procedures that has been done. So reach out to us. Let us know what is your context, because all this varies. Yeah, we have to know the context. It is almost like we got to know what are they looking for. Yeah, how do they measure? And equipment to equipment is different again, right? What we have, maybe the customers do not have the same equipment. So it comes to that level of discussion.
Okay. Okay. So the next one is on the RFID and NFC tech kit. Is it the same SKU as R7?
No, it's different. Yeah, so the short answer is no, because if you look at the R7, it is a plate that is inserted at the back of the radio at the top. the backside at the top, yeah, is a plate that you put in. If you look at the R5, it's almost like a square box that you put it at the side of the radio. So from a mechanical standpoint, it is very different part. Yeah, you can't fit in to these two models in a sense. Yeah, you can't use the R7 tag try to fit into the R5, nor the vice versa. So obviously, it's going to be a different part number. Look at our price page, accessory brochure. Those are listed there. Yeah, because if you look at the NFC and RF tag, there are two different frequencies again. Yeah, so really depends on what you are looking for, and we have the different part numbers for the different types of tags. But in a short
Right.
answer, R5, R7, there are two different parts numbers.
Right. So if you want to find out more information, you can also go to our MOTOTRBO R5 webpage. So there's also this data sheet on the RFID and NFC solutions there. So you can
Good.
take a
I'm
look as
happy that
well.
people are asking about this. Yeah, thinking about what are the solutions that we can work on. Yeah, good.
Exactly. So, okay, one more question on RFID. So does the R5 RFID tag operate on the same frequency as the R7? And has it been tested to be compatible with the RF220 body-worn camera allocation device?
Okay, yes. For those of us who were at the partner conference we had earlier this year, yeah, I know distributors level, some of them, we did actually showcase this on our booth, and we have tested this. So the RFID tag does work with the RFID card reader from a body worn. So that has been tried and tested and confirmed.
Okay. All right, let's talk about audio jack. So RFI has a 3.5 mm audio jack. Can we connect it to aftermarket headphones?
Ooh, okay. Okay, now, if we look at the audio accessory on the R5, it is identical to the 66 series, meaning that it has all the, we call it the slim G-Kai connector, yeah, the slim G-Kai. It has a advanced, I would say, a very easy lock-on mechanism, yeah. You just put it on, clip it in, it stays there. You don't need to have a screw, you don't need to screw in, which something that I like a lot, yeah. Removing it, making it put in place, stuck it on. Yeah, it's very, I would say very mechanically designed. Yeah, very nicely. Now the question is, third party 3.5 mm. To be honest, we don't test that because it's not part of our Motorola accessory per se. Now, if we say that it's approved, means we gotta test it across the audio performance, across the RF performance, across the reliability and everything else. So of course, to the extent we have never tested third-party ones to that level of things. Yeah. Now I know that there are some people who uses a lot of third party. Yeah. My stand for this is that you can try, but Motorola will not guarantee it. Yeah, in the sense if things can't work properly, unfortunately, we can't stand behind that because in order to make that reliable, in order to make that perform to the expected good performance, we really need to test that everything at our lab. Yeah, we need to make sure that all the signaling, the connectivity, mechanical, everything has to pass our requirement, which at this point, I think nothing has been done. Yeah. So you can try, but we will not kind
At
of
your own
stand
risk.
behind it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
At your own risk. So, all right. So, okay, those are the questions. Do we have throat or skull mic to work with R5?
At the moment, I believe I have not seen it yet. Yeah, but if you see a big enough requirement in your country, in your region, raise up to our camp, yeah, raise up to our sales guy, yeah, we can look into this, how we can port this over, yeah, because to be honest, we do have some of the head mic, the skull mic on the helmets and all that, but that's for the R7. A lot of the times is the connector that is different, that is kind of stopping us from bringing it over in a way, yeah. So now, of course, when we change the connector, there are still work to be done. It's not as simple as just change connector, yeah. Once we change connector, we put it on the radio, we have to go through the whole 9 yards of testing. All right. When you say testing, It is the RF testing, it's the EMI testing, EMC testing, performance, the audio performance testing, the durability testing, everything. Yeah. So it has to go through that whole qualification. Now, for some of us, if you are not very familiar with what I just mentioned, yeah, the EME testing, EMC testing, and all that, feel free, all right, reach out to our sales guy, tell them that you want to visit our Penang lab because all this is done in Penang. Yeah, we have our factory and our R&D and our testing lab. With you being there, you'll be able to see and listen. So what are the tests that we go through? When we say EME, sometimes the mechanical is not just room temperature. We have to do it across different environment, different temperature, across the whole spectrum. So it is very tedious. But again, yeah, like I said, if you see a need for that, we want to listen, we want to hear, bring it back to our sales guy, we can discuss.
Sounds good. All right. And this question is about the mic positioned on R5. So the experience from this partner is that, some of the users from P82 or P86, and then when they transit to R7, they are not too familiar with the mic position. So you're just wondering, where is it located on R5? Is it the same as R7, which has dual mic as well, or?
No. So R7 is quite unique because the mic is kind of at the top, yeah, at the top area. You'll see a hole there is on the top. R5, to be honest, I never go and dig it and to see where the hole is. My suspicion is it's pretty much the same location as the speaker grill. That's normally where it is, yeah. Again, we can get back to you, yeah. If you can reach out to us, we can clarify this offline, yeah. Just let us know. This should be quite easy to get the information that is required. Where's the mic?
I see. So this partner, maybe you want to just let your cam know that you have this question also, so that we can pass that
I like that
to
question.
Kitsu.
I like that question because we don't take things for granted. Yeah, because sometimes in the field for many years, we know that certain issue is actually very simple, but it was blown out of proportion because there was simply no education. There was simply no information. Yeah, we've been through that kind of thing. And when we look back, it could have been solved if we did a simple sharing or we did some simple education. People will manage a little bit, right? How to use the radio the right way. It solves a lot of problem. We have cases where they use analog and then they switch to digital. First thing they complain, oh, it sounds different, yeah. But because there wasn't any proper introduction, they kind of explain that, hey, this is different technology, right? These are the different expectation. These are the good things that you will get. These are some of the things that you will see different. Yeah, so I like that question in a way. Please get back to us, reach out to us. We'll be happy to work with you.
Okay, so now this one is about a warranty. So do you provide fuel warranty support to customers?
So warranty is what we meant is that if the radio is damaged or kind of having a malfunction, you got to bring it back to our partners, our distributor. And then from there, we will work with our service team within Motorola to fix it, to repair it, or to replace it, depending. Yeah. So that is the standard as what we have been doing for the many years. Yeah. Unless you are referring to something else in the field that you need engineers to go to the field, that's a different thing. Yeah, that's not warranty.
Right. Okay, so is a license needed for capacity plus single or multi-site functionality?
Okay. Almost a repeated question. Yeah. Listen carefully. Right. Just now I mentioned that it is equivalent to the 66 series. So quiz question. Yeah. What is 66 series offering today? Is it single site or multi-site Cat Plus? Anybody? Okay, you think and see. Yeah, you have your answers locked down. I'm gonna tell you the answer to check whether you get it right or wrong. So the 66 series provides single site Cat Plus included with the jump start, right? So in this case, as I mentioned, R5 follows the same as the 66 series, meaning you should be able to get the Cat Plus single site off the box, right? So it's only the multi-site you gotta top up the what they call it, the upgrade license, yeah, from a single to multi. So hopefully that answers your question.
Okay. And then something about integration side of things, like, in the future for R5 radio, can it be used to trigger body worn video recording when the emergency button is pressed?
Okay, okay. Not at the present discussion, yeah, not at the moment. Right now, it's only the R7. But if you see a big need, yeah, if you see that this is coming up and more people are using R5, and then more and more people are using with the body worn camera, we can kind of bring this up to make this work. Yeah. For now, the answer is no. It's only the R7. But if you see there's a trend or you see a big opportunity, again, reach out to us. Now, in terms of technicality, I don't think there's. Let me hold on. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Okay, to answer that, there's another thing that we need to consider: Bluetooth. Because R7 has Bluetooth, the body worn is connected to the R7 through Bluetooth. So that's another technical requirement. Now, again, if you see that there's a strong need for this, talk to us, yeah, talk to us. We may put in the Bluetooth for you, yeah. It depends, yeah. So
Got it. Yeah.
again, yeah, come back to us, yeah, come back to us.
Got it. Yeah. So it seems like it's a pretty common question that we have here on the Wi-Fi capability for
Correct.
R5. Yeah. We do have a couple of questions on that. So, okay. So not now, maybe in the future, but depending on your feedback.
That's right, in the needs.
Right? Yes, exactly. Okay, let's see. Do we have okay, is it gonna come in other colorways, like,
Ooh.
fluorescent green or lemon yellow for easy
Nice,
visibility?
nice. Nice. So I mean, for this, it's only black. Black, yeah. Now, I know, yeah, some people may prefer other colors. Just to share a little bit, yeah. Side digress a bit, detour a little bit. Our V200 body worn camera, yeah, V200. Of course, nothing related to V5, the R5. Just to share in terms of color, the V200 we have a black and a yellow color, yeah, yellow camera. So okay, I'll stop at there. Yeah, if you have any interest, reach out to me. But coming back to R5, we only have black. But if you feel that there's a need for a different color, come talk to us. We want to understand what is the context of it. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we always want to learn. We want to hear what's going on, and we certainly want to understand better.
Right. So there you go. It's not like a no. It's there's a possibility. Just
Yeah.
feedback. Let us know. Yeah. Okay, and then okay, going back to the charger and the batteries and all that. Does this come included with the charger? Is it the impress or
Hmm.
non-impress charger?
Okay, good question. For that, I can't remember off my head. I know for the 66 series, it comes with non-impress charger. Yeah. So for this, we gotta double check again, and come back to you. Yeah, because we do have all the so-called the equipment, the standard equipment, the BOM list ready. It's just that I never go and look at what's the default at the moment. But of course, if you want to upgrade to a impress charger, definitely there is an option. Definitely, yeah. If the default is non-impress, you can always opt for impress. Definitely available. Yeah. It's just that I can't remember, is it by default, is it impress or non-impress? So again, yeah, reach out to us. We can easily sort that out very quickly.
Okay. Right. So the program cable, right? Is it the
Hmm.
same as the R7s?
Okay,
Okay.
4115 is the same. Yeah. So 4115 cable is the same connector. So you can refer to again to the price page. I think it's 4115 part number. And if you're having the same 4115 cable, you can use it.
Right. What about P66I, like all these connectors and cabling to test the equipment to check for power? Is that the same?
hmm I think it's 4117 if I'm not wrong, the test cable. Yeah. So again, yeah, check again. If it's 4117, then it should be able to work. Yeah. Refer to the price page. We have all these listed service parts, the programming cables, testing cables. Go back to the materials. Yeah,
All right. So always go back to the price page and check.
that's right. I was just
Yeah.
telling Esther this morning that price page is ultimately my reference. Yeah, because I always trust the price page.
Right. Okay, and then maybe our last question. Okay, the device is waterproof. So is it okay for this device to be in some 2 meter deep water body?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, IP rating. Yeah. So we are at IP67. So again, a little bit of refresh. What is IP67? IP stands for ingress protection. 6, the first digit is for the dust protection. On the chart, the standards wise, 6 is the maximum. That means no dust that can go in. Yeah. So 6 is the ultimate. When it comes to water, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and then I think there's 9 right now. Yeah. So when you say 7, the requirement is 1 meters, 30 minutes. So 1 meter depth, 30 minutes duration. Anything that is more than that, be it 2 meters, 30 minutes, or 2 meters, 1 hour, that will be IP68. Yeah. So to answer that question, IP67 means that is 1 hour, 1 meter, 30 minutes in the water. So if you need anything more than that, it will require IP68, and that will really push us up to R7. R7 has everything. Yeah, it has 2 hours, 2 meters water resistant. Yeah, in the sense.
Righty. Okay, and maybe just one final question. Does
Okay.
it support bend down feature?
Okay. As I understand, no, we don't have this on the R5. Yeah, so it's very much kind of equivalent to the 66. 66 does not have it, so the R5 does not have that as well. So for man down, it has to be the R7, yeah, or the ATEX radio. It has that built in. Yeah.
All right, cool. Wow, we are actually 1 minute to the hour. Fantastic. And we
Oh,
spent
okay.
almost 30 minutes on questions. That's great. So
Yeah,
thank
this
you,
is better,
Kitson.
right?
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you, Kitsun. Thank you, to our channel partners for attending the session. The recording and the presentation that will be available on Partner Central. So do log into Partner Central to check it out sometime next week or next 2 weeks. Should you have any further questions regarding MOTOTRBO R5, please do not hesitate to reach out to your channel account managers. I'm sure they will be pleased to help you. And just a heads up, our next episode is slated for 15th of May. So do keep a lookout on the invite that will come your way soon. So till then, take care and have a good rest of the week.
Thank you for spending the time with us.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.